What up, Stats Crew? It's Mr. C here. I know we have our first of the analysis assignments due in a couple of days, so I wanted to give you a little nudge. In other words, give you some help with getting started, in particular with part one of question one of the Module 2 analysis assignment, where we're to be creating a histogram, and we'll be using Excel to do that. If you don't have Excel, just want to let you know that you can also use Google Sheets. Some of the steps are very similar in there. Of course, if you have any troubles along the way, feel free to let me know. But here what we're going to do is simulate a normal distribution with a mean of 400 and a standard deviation of 7. And for the first part, we want to generate a random sample of 13 data points. Now, just want to let you know that this is what MyOpenMath generated as my values, so your values could be different. For example, the mean and the standard deviation values could be different for you, as well as the number of data points, so on and so forth. But it wants us to generate a random sample of 13 data points from a normally distributed population using the inverse norm command in Excel. So let's dive right into it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and open up Excel. Blank workbook. Now to get the inverse norm function to generate some values for us, here's my little trick here. I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit. I'm actually going to go to the Module 2 Technology corner. So I'll kind of navigate out and then go back in. So if you open up our course page on Blackboard, you want to go down to the Learning Modules link, scroll down to Unit 1, Module 2, and then over here I'd like us to click on the Module 2 Technology corner, and what I'm going to do is steal one of the formulas from here. I'm going to scroll down to this part, so I'm under the subheading using Excel to create a random sample. So I'm going to scroll underneath the video, and the very last line right here is the code or the syntax that I'm going to copy and enter into the formula bar in Excel, which is right here. So I went ahead and copied it, and I'm going to right click or click into here, then right click, and then paste. And here we have the syntax from Blackboard. So it says equals norm inverse, parentheses random, and then open parentheses here. You can leave that part alone. Go to the second position in the set of parentheses, and I'm going to change 20, which was the mean in the syntax from Blackboard. And my problem says that we're going to have a mean of 400, so I'm going to just go ahead and change that to 400. And then I'm going to change the standard deviation from 2.5 to 7, and then press enter. And there's our first data value. Now we need 13 of these per the problem's instructions. So what I'm going to do is go to the lower right hand corner of this cell, drag and click it down until I have 13 cells populated. So the next part can be easily missed, and this is actually where most errors occur. So I'd like to go ahead and give you a helping hand with that. I'm going to copy all this data by just right clicking it and selecting copy, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to column B and click in the first cell there, and basically what I'm going to do is paste these values into the B column, and the special I guess button to click for that is to go to the drop down menu up here, the paste button, and right here underneath paste values, see a little clipboard with you know, the numbers 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and select that, and those are the original values. And you probably noticed that the values in column A quickly changed. Alright, so you want to be aware of that. Otherwise, when you go to create your histogram, if you haven't pasted values, which makes them static, then there could be some issues making your histogram because these values typically change as soon as you enter new information into a new cell. So for example, if I were to go to column C and type in the number 5 and press enter, what you'll see is that column A's values change, whereas column B's values stay the same. And just like that. All right. So the paste values is definitely an important part of the analysis assignment. That way, you know, you have your original values that were randomly generated, and those can be used for your histogram. Now what we're going to do is enter some bin values. My problem said that the bin should start at 380.75. So in column C, I'm going to type 380.75 and press enter. And I actually need more than just this one bin. There's going to be a few here. My problem also states that the width should be 3.5. So I'm going to create a formula to quickly generate all the different bins, ending at the bin value of 415.75. So I'm going to go up to the formula bar again, or formular bar, as Mr. Krabs would say from SpongeBob. Press the equal sign, and then I'm going to take the value that's in the first cell of column C, which I'll just type that as C1. You can see that the cell there is highlighted in light blue, and I'm going to enter in the plus sign, and then the bin width that was prescribed for me, which is 3.5, and then press enter, and there's my next bin. I'm going to click that bin, and I'm going to drag this down until I get to the last bin of 415.75. So these are all the 13 data values in column B, and in column C are all the bin values. Now we're ready to make the histogram. So to do that, at the very top of Excel, you should have a data tab. Go ahead and click that. And something that you need for the histogram is this data analysis tool pack, I believe it's called. If this isn't showing up for you, then there are some instructions given in the technology corner to help you get this into Excel. So follow those instructions, and then just kind of repeat some of the process here, and then be sure that you have data analysis. And once you have that button showing up for you, you can go ahead and click it. And what I'm seeing here are just a bunch of different analysis tools that have been loaded into Excel for me. We want, of course, what's at the bottom here, histogram. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And it's going to ask me for some information. The first piece of information is the input range. So this consists of all your data values. What I do for that is I just click my very first data value that was generated and go all the way down until I get to the last one, and there's the code for it. Now it wants the bin range, so I'm going to click into that cell and do a similar thing where I'm going to start with the first bin value, click and hold and drag down until you get to the last bin value, and there's the corresponding code for that. One more thing, in this histogram menu here, at the very bottom you should have the capability to select chart output. You definitely want to make sure you have that clicked before you press OK. That way everything goes smoothly in terms of how the histogram looks. And we're about ready to let Excel do its magic. So I'll hit OK. And in just a snap, it has generated the histogram that corresponds to those 13 random data values, as well as the bins that we have defined. Alright, so that's where I'm going to end the video. Of course, you do have to continue this 4 more rounds for for larger amounts of data, but the processes are very similar in each of the remaining parts of question 1. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, I hope this video is helpful, and I look forward to and you just heard my cat Luigi. I look forward to helping you out with any questions that you might have. All right, have a great one, guys.